Well, hello, my dear friends. So this is Kiram with Clear Imaging. We design wicked websites. Been doing it for 2 decades. I've been making them since 2003. We've helped tons of American companies with our fresh designs. We're going to talk about Shopify today. We're going to talk about Shopify. So for those who don't know, Shopify is an online e-commerce platform. You make an account and you can sell stuff online. That's basically it. It is an amazing platform. There are 1 million stores online. Granted, not all of them are active. A lot of them are just experiments that never got anywhere, but that just shows you how major they are. And here is an example of a Shopify store, which is active and selling. We're going to take a peek. As you can see, powered by Shopify right there. We're going to take a peek here and see how this can be improved, because there is a lot that can be improved. But you wouldn't necessarily know unless you know what you're doing. So first things first, we land on this homepage, right? Bam, here we are. A few design issues. One, there is not, the logo is not quite in the right place. Got a logo in the middle. Logo really should be over here on the side, and if it's going to be in the middle, it needs a lot more space and padding, because right now it just looks like text. So you want your brand logo to be discernible from text. And let's just move it over here. Let's move the navigation to the far right. All right, so the navigation is locked over here, and then this text logo is over here. Space it out a little bit. And add a little more padding above and below. I like how it's nice and tight, but it's a little bit too tight. It's a little cramped and it's going to be hard to look at. So let's just space that out a bit. A good example is over here. Logo there, navigation here, something like that. It's just more orienting. It's more orientating because people are used to this. And when you break that design convention, it throws people off a little bit. So let's do that. Another point is the value proposition is kind of out of the way here. The healing power of plants teams up the latest in beauty science. This is kind of their value proposition statement right here. The problem is all the font sizes are the same, so there's no contrast. What we need is this to be, 3 times whatever font size this is. So like if this is 20 pixels, it should be 60 pixels, really big, right here. Big value proposition. And they should reword it, perhaps. A good format to use is we help audience X achieve desired result with solution. So we help women feel beautiful with our healing plant products or something like that. Nice and big, because if you have everything the same font size, people will just, it's not going to have as much impact because they're all the same size and they're all competing for attention. If you have one big one, that'll get the attention, and then people will go then and look at the rest of it. So let's get that enlarged. Let's get the call to action made into a contrast color. Right now it's blending in too much, so we're not going to get many clicks. So we need to get the color of this changed, and I also want it brought up a little bit so it's a little more obvious. Move the girl over to the side a little bit, make some more space for the text. The text is key, not so much this image. So let's get that going. Another thing, we're jumping straight into the products, which is a little bit premature. I would like to see a little bit of social proof, some numbers, something to show me that this is a legitimate company. For instance, you can imagine, let's say you land on this and you're in the market for cosmetics or something. You've never heard of this company. You land here. Well, what's on your mind? Well, the fact that you've never heard of them. So let's just get real about this. So building trust is essential, especially if you're not known. So you need to address that straight up right from the beginning and create a section here right after this initial section where it's before the products. Put it right here, and you can put information like who your partners are or distributors. So let's say you've got this cosmetic line and you're selling it to a few stores in town, for instance. Or maybe you have an account with like a major company like Woolworths or Publix or Macy's or Target. Either way, you should get some of that going. And then you put a section like this. In this case, these are past clients, and in this case, it would be partners. So I would like to see those logos put. If they don't have any distributors or partners, then another option would be something like putting the amount of products sold, the years in business, the number of people who have been, whose lives you've improved with your product, something like that. Some numbers like this, right? This is a painting company. We've got number of students who've painted, number of classes, number of cities operated in. And so for this e-commerce company that's selling cosmetics, beauty products, you want to try to find, well, what hard numbers can you put? If you just got into business this year, then you're not going to put in business 1 year. You're not going to put a really big number 1, right? You need to think of numbers that can work with you. So if you don't have any, then you need to get really busy, starting some partnerships, getting some distributions with some companies, so you can start taking advantage of that. Because without having any of those, then you're automatically at a disadvantage. Because that's a big objection when someone lands on a site like this. Who are you? I've never heard of you. Can I trust you? That's huge. So let's get that going, get some partnerships, find some distributors, and start getting some statistics. Let's get that section added. Then we have products. All right. And one of the issues with these sections here is there's no padding on the side. We got to move that in. When text can't breathe, it won't be read, just so you know. It's just hard to look at, and people will have an allergy, basically, to text that's not spaced out. So we got to move this in, put some space in between these lines, and then make this a lot bigger. Same over here, you got to make these headings bigger, and it's the same issue that we were talking about up here. When you have several lines of text all the same size like this is really hard to read. Also, it's in all caps, which is doubly hard to read. You want to create contrast with text. You need to have a big heading and then some small lines. And that invites the eye to start at the top and then move down to the rest of it. So we need to replicate that over here. Additionally, we have the same thing with the call to action. These call to action colors for these buttons are too subtle. They need to be a little more contrasty. Something like one of these, maybe this orange in here will be really good. Possibly have to change this text to white instead of black. So let's get that going. Every section has this same issue, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Same thing over here. This one doesn't even have the heading over here, so clearly this section needs the same treatment. Same thing over here. You get the idea. So that's a lot of optimizations, just repeated over and over again. Another thing missing here on building trust. So we were talking about, okay, let's get some logos of distributors or partners, or let's get some vital statistics of actual production within the company. Well, if you don't have any of that, you can always do testimonials, and there aren't any testimonials on this page either. So we're missing a lot of trust elements. This is key, and I don't know if they've got testimonials on the About page. Nope. So let's get that going. Testimonials on the About page, down towards the bottom middle. All right. Got to build that trust. Another thing on the topic of building trust is a section actually talking about the objections. When you're pitching your product or service, if you mention the objection before the prospect does, you have made quite a power move by doing that, because it's not expected for you to talk about a possible weakness. You know, most people would cover it up. Most people would try to talk about something completely different. But if you bring it up, the prospect's going to feel that they can trust you, because they're seeing that you're comfortable talking about things that might be perceived as negative. For instance, one of those would be, you can make a section like this, never heard of us, or you can put something in the heading here like some things you might be thinking, or if you're on the fence, are you on the fence, question mark, not sure about us, question mark. And then you can put 3 different things. One like, I've never heard of you before. Literally put it in the words of the prospect, I've never heard of you before. And then you put your handling for that objection, whatever that would be. Whatever it is, you can find a way to explain while they may never have heard of you, you are a real company, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what are some other objections somebody might have? You know, where is your product made? You know, I'm concerned about quality, blah, blah, blah. So you can have an objection about quality. You know, I don't want my stuff made from synthetic chemicals in a factory in China. So that could be an objection as to why somebody wouldn't want to buy, right? So that's another one that you can do. Either way, come up with 3 and then make a nice section like this. Put the objection here, put the handling here, objection here, handling here, objection here, handling here, and then a nice heading, something like, you know, if you're on the fence, or you might be on the fence, or something to read their mind, because that's what they are. They are on the fence. They're on this website. They don't know you. They've got some concerns. And if you address it and be forthright about it, that's going to go a very long way in building trust. So let's get that section added. Moving on, it's cool that there's some video here. Very nice. Just scrolling along. It would be really good also if stock photography wasn't used. If this is stock, right? If this is stock, it looks stock. So you don't want to do stock photography, because again, stock photography isn't real, it's fake. And why, you know, you're not going to build trust with a prospect if your photos are fake. Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to be real as possible, even if that means they don't look as crisp and studio-tastic as these. That's not the point anymore. Like maybe back 10 years ago, you know, you could do stock photography and nobody cared. But these days, if you want to differentiate yourself, you need to be real, you need to build trust, and you can't be real with people if you're using unreal photos. So let's get some real photos happening. Get some real photos of people who have used this product. Get a little before and after. That is huge. If you can get a before and after, now granted that obviously takes some time, you know, maybe the person needs to use this product for 6 months, whatever it is, it's going to be well worth it. And that really will help you sell, because that's real, that's reality. A nice little before and after going, you know, some photos of customers, you know, removing the stock photos. There's quite a bit more. That's just scratching the surface, to be honest. There's so much more that could be optimized on this site. For instance, we get to the bottom, we got a footer, and this is basically useless. This should be deleted because nobody signs up with these. Instead, you need something a little more tasty, a little more spicy, something with some zest. Think about the prospect who's on this page. What's their problem? I'm getting old and ugly. Okay, let's just say it. So if that's what it is, I'm just guessing. Now that we know what their problem is, their unmet need, we need to tap into that and make a little section down here with some sort of a form where they fill out, they provide their contact details, name, email, and in return, you give them a valuable piece of content which addresses their problem being, I'm getting old and ugly and I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't reverse time. Whatever it is that's going through the prospect's mind, I'm only getting older. Whatever that thing is, you need to tap into that and then mention it and offer some piece of valuable content based around that. So that would be a lead magnet. It's not, the sale of a product, but it could be a checklist. It could be, ebooks are so overdone, but they do work. It could be a quiz. Quizzes are a little more spicy. Whatever it is, you need to offer some sort of piece of valuable content in exchange for that email address for those who aren't prepared to buy. For those who land on here who need to be nurtured a little more and warmed up, they want to get to know you a little more. Well, you can do that by providing them some valuable content, which will position you as a thought leader, and you'll build that trust, and they'll be ready to buy later. So you'll have to put together some sort of a lead magnet. It could be a quiz on, your skin and your health and what, the lifestyle that you're living. Is it conducive to aging gracefully? Whatever it is, it could be a quiz, it could be a downloadable checklist, it could be a little video series of tips. Either way, that should be down here at the bottom so that they fill it out. You get the contact info, and then you have some email drip campaigns to warm them up and then pitch them on your stuff as a separate marketing activity. We can go on and on and on. There's all sorts of other things to be done, but that gives you the idea. At the end of the day, it's all about building trust. There's a million Shopify stores online, and they don't all, build trust. So there's a billion websites online. So if you want to be different, you just need to be real and legitimate, and you can do that by having these various trust elements on your website. A big one, is making you look like a real company, basically. So that is the idea. I'm not going to go on and on and on. There's a whole bunch of other things I would do to this site, but that's basically the idea. If you want your site to be properly done, of course, Clear Imaging can sort you out. We've been making websites forever. I've been making them since 2003. We've helped tons of American companies with our fresh designs, and we can do the same for you. So come on down, clearimaging.com, contact us, tell us about your business, and we'll see if there's anything we can do to improve it. And if you have a website and you're watching this, whatever it is, whatever.com, go ahead and put it in the comments, send me a message, and if I can do a little video for you where we go in and do a dive. We'll dive in and see what you're missing so that you can improve the flow, because your website needs to be a sales page. It needs to be a sales funnel. The home page should be a sales page, and if it's not, you're not going to result in sales. So come on down, let me know, and we can do that for you. All right. Until then, thank you very much, and take care.